Nitubatangira muno kuhuliriza iraka lya Bunyoro kuruga kuno mu Diaspora hano mu TGM Radio.
Rap Nickel, yeah, feel power. Miles Pro Films, run your flow army. VPN, yeah. Mujambe kali kalina, ni watapinga list ya mpana. Mumiyemba limbona, halo karabola kanibachashana. Avanchitinga kabalo kavanjona, okanyole keguro kanjona keyena. Habekikora kubyo batrora nkwina, sembera kukwate watu vaisa fitina. When go syndicate sikira tanya pena Hamotemo kakokeza stress tinkaina Tugende out makwedyo kwenda vyona Wende to love birds Kwezana
It's like I'm in love with Rihanna.
Yeah You're beautiful My African queen
You're so sweet like banana.
Check Niwen kera kutekerezaho Ningule ya time usobole kutereraho Manyangora ire na kikia kiroho Ni blanketi ya kyoya mukaire kembeho Musekoba mazika tendekolekaho Nesiyone kwe haka ine nyewendi baho Tango sosute nka baby ngufeho Kukola mahule muli rendi ye dubaseho Okajango musana wambinga hekiho Hakwake kegwe love ya jekiaroho Come close girl sembera kukwateho Fresh and clean Baby nitwabaraho Yeah
Like I'm in love with Rihanna.
Rap Nickel Chocolate girl These two you're beautiful
You're so sweet like banana.
Yeah Rap Nickel Rap Nickel I'll be a portrait man, you know yeah. You're my dream come true, kabonekera kama laika Niye songa hawaki nkwata tweke kwatika Umutima ukamara yokusayonde niwe weka Kuboshana no myaso ya kankipati nikiaka Nayo kudopa waronjo kabuswaga Boleke boti beba ina swaga Mumutwe harumu kulani yoko weddinga Bazayo bagambe banchwere kwa mukaga Oroli mundu ninye trigger
Hello, mwebale kuija. Welcome to the Voice of Bunyoro in the Diaspora. As usual, ninyowe Caroline Ajuna at Chibuka Atenyi on here to host the show. Hati nkomuhulira kazina ko karwaire karungi muno kionka ninyenda kubagambira today. Our topic is movies in Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. Baitu takahikiraho nkwenda kubajukiza mukake nti show enu ejakuba omurujungu no murunyoro. This show it will be in both English and Runyoro, the Runyoro language spoken in by the people who are from the western part of Uganda in the kingdom of Bunyoro. With that reminder, nkwenda kubagambira kubajukiza mukake abandi mwina kuba mukibo in her flyers zaitu that our topic today is movies in Bunyoro Kitara. Hati na in that brief introduction nkwenda kubazanirayo oba kubolekyayo ka trailer ka movies in Bunyoro, and then we'll get back to you and tell you what it's all about, the movies in Bunyoro. Mutyo muno abanyoro na abanyoro kati and friends of Bunyoro, thanks for tuning in.
Find my grandfather. And the story of love. Hard work. The story of
Hello, nkomuboine aka trailer ako. Hati inkwenda kuba introducing to you tonight our guest, our guest who is all the way from Australia, as we already told you about her last week in our program. Hati ninyenda kumweta o kumteka her line asobole kubaho obugambo buke obwagenda kuba naye bazaho, and then we will start our topic today. Amooti webale muno kuba naitwe hanu. Thank you so much for accepting to be hosted on the Voice of Bunyoro in the Diaspora, Iraka lya Bunyoro Diaspora, which is sponsored by Bunyoro Kitara Development Association here in the UK. Amooti ntaka genzere hara, what time is it in Australia over there?
The time is 4 a.m.
Wow.
Monday morning. Yeah.
Monday morning, 4 a.m. What a privilege to have you on the show this early in the morning. Webale muno Amooti timanyire nkobunda kusima kyonka otuhaire kitinisa kyamani muno kwikiriza kuija kuba hamuna itwe hanu Abunyoro hairaka lya Bunyoro mu diaspora kandi wale kubyama. I'm sure you had to alamu niye kwimukize weno kuzoka very tired but spotless, looking beautiful. Thank you so much. Hati nkwenda obeyo obugambo buke obwo introducing yourself to our viewers so then we can connect with them and then we will start our show. Otobuna Amooti.
Okay. Mwirirwe muta, musibire muta, muraire muta. Ba viewers baitu nywena hali muli?
Omazira Amooti. Amooti ebyo nabiri spotless, short, sharp, and that's it. Hati Amooti omaze kuramukya aba viewers baitu nkwenda kukaguza kutandika our show. Otubeho otugambire about yourself, what you do, your interests,
okay,
so that people come to know who you are. I know we have put up you're a movie director, producer, film, so many titles. But just talk to us and tell us who you are so that people get to know you more than they have seen on the flyer.
Okay. Amabara ninyowe Evelyn Cindy Magara empako mba Amooti mba mwana nzarwa ya Hoima in Bunyoro Uganda. Nzarwa mama wange nwe Bunyoro Kati Beatrice Kagubaza Bigirwa wa Parajoki Hoima Uganda. A few kilometers from Hoima City, and Tata Nwe John Magara from Bwende Road, Woli, Hoima, also just a few kilometers from Hoima City. So, in general, the Bunyoro Kaswa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Parajoki Dwoli.
Parajoki and Dwoli. I think mom and dad's homes are separated maybe by a kilometer or two.
Oh, right.
So,
amazing.
So I'm a Hoima girl. I don't know what else you want to know in that regard.
What do you do professionally, and just about your profession, if you don't mind sharing it with us or with our viewers?
I wear many hats in that regard. First and foremost, in the lecturer, nsomesa Magara University, nsomesa literature na film. And secondly, now I'm a PhD student, which is also
amazing.
The University of Sydney, where I should be completing soon. Then another thing, I'm a film director, film producer, I'm a writer. You can say I'm a creative. I run a motion pictures company, which is named after my clan.
Wow.
Nyondi Mufumambogo. So my company is called Nyati Motion Pictures, which is a Swahili. Nyati is a Swahili word for buffalo. Wow. So it is basically Mbogo motion pictures. Yeah. So that's what I do. 3 things.
Okay.
A filmmaker and a lecturer or teacher.
Amazing. So today you've given us the different hats that you're wearing, and we're very privileged to host you, as I said. But today
I left out one of mother because it's not professional. Is it a profession? I think I should have started with that.
Yes.
I'm a parent.
All right. A parent of 3 or 4 or 5? 3,
and a wife to 1.
Amazing. That is very crucial. A wife to one. Hati Amooti, webale muno kutugambira about your professionalism, what you are, a wife to one and everything. But today we are going to concentrate on the film and the film part of your production as a producer. And I just want to ask you, what inspired you to go on and do this career? Because it's very rare. I had never even heard about someone doing that professional before. You were the first of your kind I've heard about in Bunyoro.
Let's say maybe Bunyoro, we can, because Bunyoro is part of Uganda and it's not really a small part, but it's just a part of Uganda. So I was privileged to be among the pioneers of film studies at Magara University, having also made my first degree, a Bachelor of Arts in Literature and English, and we were studying literature, film in literature, and being taught by a nun mentor. So yeah, so made a film. I was so excited because for me, studying African cinema at that time, at that stage, you know, when you're a university student, but some African literature and all the aspects of African literature, what should African literature do, the purpose of African literature, the aesthetics of African literature. So when film came in, I felt, oh, I think this is the best way for me to write my stories. And I was so convinced that I could reach a wider audience using film, considering that film, it transcends like literacy levels. Omuntu nowakuba somere while you write a novel or a poem, omuntu anagihura nibagiperforminga oba agisome. But for film, omuntu wakuba somere, you will understand. Yes. Even if it's in a different language, you understand because it's audiovisual. So I really got so excited. Immediately I finished campus, nyatandika kukora movie. The first people I worked with were my colleagues from the course, and we were few because they had just introduced the course. So my lecturer, who is now a professor, had to like select a few of the bright ones because we really studied too much in one year. So abana truly most of us, we were really specifically taught to write and taught about the aesthetics of African cinema. So I go into the field not knowing a lot of the technical stuff. So I said, I'm Uganda, if they are technical guys, and they were not there. At that time, Ashraf Semo Gerere had made a movie. So anyway, I make the film. So later on, I was privileged to read about myself in a given dissertation when I'm doing my research as the first female Ugandan independent filmmaker. So it's not that I'm just the first in Bunyoro. I think I'm the first in Bunyoro.
Amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
In the whole country. So, but that aside, as an aside, I was really enthusiastic about film. And in my first film, which is called Fate, and Fate was the first Ugandan film to go on in the cinema. Yes. Cineplex. I think that time there was a branch on Wilson Street, around there, near Pioneer Mall. So then Fate was the first Ugandan movie to go on DSTV. So it really had its time, and so the people who acted in Fate somehow became celebrities. I now cannot afford to pay them, but which is so good for me that the guys I worked with, the people who starred in my movie, are somewhere very admirable. So Nyachwamu, my next film, I was really determined, being a Munyoro I am, or a Bunyoro Kitara I am. Nyagamba, okay, there's a lot of potential in film. First and foremost, as a source of employment, as a way to reach society, as a way to impact society. Because my first film, maybe we can talk about it some other time, since today you're focusing on Windows of Hope. My first film, in brief, dealt with an issue of HIV/AIDS and living positively with HIV/AIDS. The response it got from the people, I said, okay, I think I can do more. and the next film I will take you to Bunyoro. So I went to Hoima. I launched from my home base, and auditioned in Hoima. And I wanted in this film now to use language according to context. Yes. So that's how Windows of Hope becomes the first film in Bunyoro. I use language according to context. So if the actors are at school or they're in office, they speak English. If they are at home, depending on the setting, they speak their language. And maybe it's not a time to talk about Windows of Hope. I could
but since you have already answered questions that I haven't asked you yet, because you're a lecturer, you're going ahead of me. So that's fine. But you've already told us about one of your movies. And my next question was, after telling us what inspired you, was to tell us more about a few of your films that you have acted, and probably tell us, maybe we could show your website somewhere. You've told us about Fate. What other movie have you acted?
Actually, I don't want to position myself as an actor, because in Fate, in my first film, I acted in it by mistake, because one of the girls was supposed to have like a girls' day out. They are hanging out and having a drink and having a girly chat. One of the actors fails to show up, and remember that was maybe the second project being done in the country. People were not used to the film etiquette. So my producer says, okay, since we are looking at young girls, ladies of this age and this age, so you sit in as an extra. So anyway, I sat in that movie as an extra. So I really don't want to position myself as an actor, because I believe it's very hard.
About the ones you produce, not the ones you've acted.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next film, so in that film, really, there's some people call me an actor, but I don't think I am. I don't want to. So Fate, I've produced Fate. I wrote and produced Fate. I wrote and produced Windows of Hope. Windows of Hope, actually, I wrote it when I had lots and lots of ideas. When you look at it, it is so compact in terms of the messages in it. Then I co-wrote Fair Play. Fair Play was funded by the European Union and the Electoral Commission. I co-wrote it with a Kenyan friend of mine whom we've always worked together on my film projects. Okay. So I've done 3 movies, feature films, and I've done 1 documentary, and there are lots of things that I'm doing. I don't know whether you want me to talk about them.
Okay, so you've told us your movies, some of the movies that you have done. So I just wanted, now that you already spoke about Windows of Hope, yeah? And I think I would assume this is your darling, because you had to act it from Bunyoro, from where you come from, and there is there are different languages in it there. But I just want us to show our viewers some of the clips of this Windows of Hope, and then we will come back and discuss more about it. Is that, if that's fine with you?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, because the trailer was cut short, so I think it's good for them to
hati viewers baitu Magara Amooti abagambire who she is. Hati ni tugenda kuba playing rayo a clip about on Windows of Hope. Nko muhulire nko bwagibalizo. It is her favorite because it's in Bunyoro. She acted, it was produced in Hoima and Masindi, basically in Bunyoro. So we are going to show you this clip, and please get yourself ready, get some popcorn, movie night, some popcorn, tea, wine, whatever is next to you, please, and turn off your lights. Muheya matara movie night tugenda kuba Bunyoro hati cinema. Mutyo muno abanyoro n'abanyoro kati n'aba friends ba Bunyoro to let's enjoy Windows of Hope.
Alinda! John. Ndo. Alinda, hano mwanyi. Ntagaruka kurora orugira hano.
Mojo mwana wange. Mojo mwana wange. Nkwetaga atonga mbere bizibu byawo byona. Oiza kuba kurungi bojo.
Tukubali 1, 2, 3, big burger. You like the pizza? Yes, no. How many plates will you have? 1, 2. Which car will you go to? Taki bus. Taki bus. No, Jessie.
God, you are so great. At least my children can love each other.
Alinda! Alinda! John! Mananga Alinda. Barugahara inagenda mwavu.
Tata, waise barugati nkumanyayo.
Barugahara inakura mwavu. Ainakura mbe kikaki.
Batekwa kuba bamuhairira na transfer.
Atagambireyo. Togia kubaza. Nenyo weso.
Yekaragana ngamba nti ise ataye teacher mukyalo ekimu. Eibara lye bamweta Mr. Bogere balikowa.
Atagambire kiyaro ki rundi district namba ya Ruga. Atabigambire bya.
Owabu niho katoke.
Kabahabura bana bange. Kabahabura inywena. Mina kwegendeza muno nimukoragana n'abantu abo. Baino ruyayi rwingi muno. Ntabahabule bana bange. Kwata. Mtwali. Mwana inakura mbe kikaki. Utagarukana nawe. Genda. Abaramuki. So kwesitaza muno. Kakusanga barugahara aswera abanyanya mutamanya. Mu Ruganda rwe. Electric Xirani. Kali ndikana kandi kano ako kawa kali kano kandi kano okalize sonkulu londe egole mugayiga bana basonkulu aba babiri banyokonkulu babiri hati mami wawe akutwalira sonkulu londe mara muhereza omwani ogo holi ngena mugumo teba gumuheza
Mami.
Don't mind. ati ngenda kuseera ise barugara kweli ndamusangayo ise ninyagira ebisiraani nsabira nnyo musangeyo. I'm really unlucky.
Baitu mwana wange iwe nkakugambira baana nyonya bagambira ga busaho omuntu wena aswerwa munyamahanga akaikala asemereire.
Iwe na dadi mwinagenda mubungeho okwo mwetegereze kiki ekibayo. Abantu bona nikyo kimu. That is tribalism and stereotyping of people. Busaho mulungi n'omubi. Hano isaajuna kakaba Bunyoro. Hakaba empinduka yona. Singa nyabaire kijango rundi kikoko.
Kankusabira ogenda obasangeyo.
Batukaka. Mama Sebaruga aramuzora.
Emanyira bundi aramuzora.
Kandi Sebaruga nawe arabayise nyuma.
Iwe so akafa.
Tusanise okubalaba.
Kale hano niwo wa Bunyoro boogere. Awo Bunyoro boogere.
Wewa tusanise okubalaba. Muyingire mu nyumba.
Mzee niko byabaire. Nyamadira nukire.
Kakati bwemwayombanga tiyabanga nekisa kyonna ngyoli oba teyakulaganga nti akwagala.
Nangwa mzee. Buli nyakabaza oga ebintu byokweranga. Natandika kungana. Nogenda kujja kwikani. Busaruliza.
Yekana akaana. Nga tekayina mpisa bakukuliza wabbi.
Senyiwa mwana wange obuwala. Nyanzi talina magezi. Asuuliridde nnyo omusaayi gwange buli wamu talina magezi. Ate oba oli awo eriyo n'abaana balala bamunoonya.
Bulijjo sikugamba nti omwana w'oyo musiru tategeera talina magezi.
Mukazi gwe vva wano. Genda okola emirimu gyo. Okimanyi bulungi bwe wayonona abaana ba wano bonna olw'ebbuba lyo. Kati ng'abaana bonna olwo balinga nsolo busolo kati.
Nga ggwe.
Tofaayo. Olidde. oyo mwana wa musayi gwange si mwana wa walala wonna era Katonda mwana wa Katonda gwe gwalonzeemu okudda mu kifo kya kitaawo ne kitaawo omuto abankuba nga baagala ssente.
My son Baruga, be a good boy.
Atagende mu ddwaliro ate tukulekanya kati omwana afire wano nga tulaba mwene ono mushinja kiwo otakwasa n'okuleberera omwana we
muzeeyi ati ngyagenda Barugara ogwo mutwala ne rundiki mukulekere.
Barugara nja kumuleka era nja kusigala naye kyokka Nyanzi yagamba okunkuba essasi nfwe singa nyingira mu bintu bye by'abaana be naye ndaba nga omwana ayinza okubonaabonera bwereere n'olwekyo nja kusigala naye wano mbeere naye.
Webale muno muzeeyi webale muno kuba n'omutima ogwo Mukama akw'omugisa ii baitu barugalinka Barugara
Barugara mama wagenda naye ojja kusigala nange si bwe kiri
Baruga mubona mulungi hano n'omwanyo nkikozere abo okuba nkwenda oikale nabo omuka okule nabo omuka ekinja kujagana enkola ntereko ate muzeeyi mukagende
naye tutyanga kujja wano tujja kukwanirizanga bulungi mu maka muno famire yonna ejja kukwagala bulungi n'olwekyo tutya kujja wano okutulabanga webale nnyo okujja okutulaba tofaayo.
Hello baviewers baitu film ehoire tugarukire hati mugare amataara ngira wine muzima zire zinywa hati mutuhulirize Amooti kiki kyagenda kutugambira hata Amooti tuboine characters za movie ezo main characters Baruga Ajuna. Can you tell us what was behind those characters as you are writing these movies so that we get to understand why and actually ntaka kukagwiza about the characters. Why did you call this movie the title you gave it as you wrote it, and so that people know why Barugahara and what Windows of Hope is all about?
Okay. Obunyabere nimpandika movie egyo. I was working with a title Barugahara, and then I noticed maybe it would be very hard for people to relate with the Bunyoro title, considering the reach of Bunyoro maybe globally. And so I had to analyze the story of Barugahara and see which other title, what subtitle can I put? Eri Murujungu. So nyatekaho Windows of Hope. Windows of Hope is means the window of hope, refers to the window of hope age. So it basically means children. So I put it in plural. So to mean windows of hope, the children. And then I starred this, the main character then becomes this Barugahara, whom we see before he's born. Because in brief, Windows of Hope is about two low-income Ugandans. One is a Bunyoro, another one is a Muganda, and they meet in the city. The lady, Barugahara's mother, Alinda, whom you saw in there, is in the city working in a kiosk as a tea girl, atunda mkakantini na savinga chai, in a police barracks. So this policeman, a constable of sorts, they move out together, and he takes her, they begin staying together in a uniport, which is his house. And at that time, I really wanted to show through Barugahara's father, Nyanzi, I wanted to show the plight of policemen, because I really did not want to blame him for what he does or what he does in the movie. I wanted to show their plight. So these two people move out together, and Alinda, being that she's in Uganda, her parents don't even know where she is. She didn't go to school. She's worried that when she realizes that she's pregnant, she tells her boyfriend, "Tugenda omuka tubunge." And Nyanzi thinks Alinda wants to be introduced. He's like, "I don't have money." Then she says, "No, but according to our culture, let our parents know that we are staying together. What if anything happens?" It's like she's foretelling actually what happens.
Yes.
And Nyanzi refuses. So anyhow, in a short period of time, Nyanzi is given a transfer. And being a policeman, or a Ugandan policeman, in the circumstances of the room, agambo mkiala we reka ngende ndagaruka nkutabara when let me go and see the new place. And he doesn't come back. When he goes to another place, he just picks up another woman. Alinda is thrown out of the uniport, and she has to go back home with her child. Unfortunately for Alinda, she has another child already. So what you showed in the clip, Alinda is obwahikomuka ise akamubinga. Amubinga, Nina na ise, they are really quarreling about it, and Alinda feels home is no longer home for her. So what you showed, the sequence you showed, the father has thought about it, and he says, "You know, Alinda, this is your home, so stay." But her home is not home for her children, especially because she has two children, the daughter, Arjuna, and the son, Barugahara. And from what you showed, the father now tells her, "Omwana mutwala omwavu." He has his reasons. According to their culture, a boy must not grow up at his maternal side, omwoja nakura mukikake with his clanmate. So Alinda has no choice but to take this child to strangers whom she even didn't know. No wabaka batamanyireyo. So now the story shifts to really Barugahara. So the parents are kind of pushed aside to how this child, because I wanted to focus it on children, how a child is important and how any child can have potential. In that window of hope age, a child can be anything. For example, who knew Obama, a child of a foreign student going to US to study, and makes a baby, and the baby becomes a president. So I was before, of course, this story is before Obama's presidency, but I'm just using it as an example. I wanted to show that really a child should be a responsibility of everyone, because children are our future, and in a child anything can happen. But as you see in the movie, you've watched the full movie, and maybe our viewers can watch the full movie. The child really undergoes a lot of hurdles, from an evil stepmother, an evil step-grandmother, to his inheritance being stolen from him. Habokuba Isenkurogo, like you've seen, Mr. Bogere, the Muganda patriarch, loves his son, his grandson. And when he dies, he leaves him as the heir. But the family does not like it. They are fighting over what this man has made, which again also shifts to children, even if they are old, as in, why would children really be thinking about fighting for their parents' property? Why can't they work hard? Because much as I focus on children, there are so many other things I want to focus on using Barugahara, which is like the etiquette or for one to always aspire to work hard. Yeah, work hard, and also for people like to always want to help others, because Barugahara no barugiremu, because he finally grew up amongst all the hurdles and became a successful man. He had support from a lot of people, including those ones who are not even his family members, because his family members abandoned him. I don't know whether I'm answering the question or not.
Yeah, you are. But just to understand you more and more, what characters do you then think, how those characters, of course, you've talked about how the children, you are thinking about the windows of hope, and the windows of hope are the children. So how do these elder people in some of your character help impact these young children? Because I can see the father of Barugahara, the grandfathers, the two grandfathers really made a lot of impact to the children. So what were you kind of thinking about the impact of elders in this Barugahara story?
I really did not think about the impact of elders, but I was thinking about the role a parent should play.
Yes.
Once you are an adult, you must play such a role, because Barugahara has aunts and has uncles who, compared to him, are elders. You get what I mean? Much as not as old as their father, but they ignore Barugahara. They just steal whatever he was given, fight over the little property that their father leaves, and they don't look after him. His own father denies him. He's like, I don't know you. But surprisingly, when Barugahara becomes successful, the constable now, who is retired, goes to drinking to bars and bragging around. I have a son who is educated. My son has a degree. My son will send me money to drink. So in the end, I wanted to show that we should value children, we should value education, and we should value hard work. If you don't work hard, you don't expect manna to fall from heaven to earth. And if you're going to live a life like the one of Barugahara's father, much as I really don't want to blame him a lot, it is circumstances. I wanted to illuminate, shed some light on how our policemen, our civil servants are treated. He's a police officer of a national police, but he lives in squalid. He lives, I really cannot describe his living conditions. Okay. And it's no wonder you see him, he cannot even have a stable marriage with his other wife, who is from another tribe, again, another ethnic group. And I think the issue of ethnicity is very key in this movement.
That's what I was going to get to. You used quite a number of different languages in this movie. And it's mainly, although it's mainly a Runyoro movie, why some Banyoros by Jagamba, Rabe movie abaire yo Runyoro, Habakandi atairemo Ruganda, Bakiatairemo Rusoga, Bakiatairemo, or is it Aluo or something? Habakiatairemo Rujuru.
Actually.
Yeah, Halimo, so many, about 7. When I was listening to the movie, watching the movie, there were so many languages. The good thing is I was understanding most of them. So why did you use these different languages?
First and foremost, of course, Bunyoro is not an independent state. And even if Bunyoro was to be an independent state, Benge Bunyoro is not an ethnicity. It is a nation. It's a nationality. So many people live in Bunyoro. Different ethnic groups constitute the nation state Bunyoro. If we could take Bunyoro as a nation, so osanga Bunyoro halima abantu bayingi balango. Like for example, when you look at the scene in school, Duhaga Secondary School, I went to that school, so where I filmed from, and obabaire nibasoma amabala g'abaana abatungira scholarships, and Barugahara is one of them. If you listen to the names, halimu all sorts of names. I wanted to, much as this, the focus was on Bunyoro, and the main character is a Bunyoro. But we don't live in isolation. We live in a country which has multiple ethnicities. And remember, my intention of telling this story was also to critique the kind of myopic thinking, myopic thoughts about ethnicity. Okuranko harima a lot of ethnic stereotyping.
I know.
Yeah. So I want to.
Mahanga ago tukabagambira. Abantu bonaserwa mahanga ago tibaba kurungi. That was terrible.
Yeah, stereotypical. And then again, because the person saying that is the Bunyoro. Is the Bunyoro Kati, Alinda's mother. Yeah. She's blaming Alinda for having moved out with a foreigner who is now a Muganda in that context. And ideally, when you even look at the same movie, Alinda akagenda nasera isebaruga oba ise nkurubaruga, because she had to go to the stock. Akahikayo nabaza Bunyoro. And the guy could respond in Luganda, and they were communicating. I really wanted to show the few things that separate us are so minute that if we could look at a bigger picture, that we are Ugandans, we all belong in our, and what makes it very interesting, English Libanya Uganda, is our different ethnicities. Yeah, our different ethnicities, everybody comes in with a twist. And I wanted to show the young generation really against that. Like Alinda, who is not very educated from her state of affairs in the movie, the way she's portrayed, you could see her arguing with her mother. Mommy, don't tell me that. All human beings are the same. Yes. So there's no way you're going to say Muganda or an Alur or a Munyankoe, but again, you see how Barugahara's aunts are backbiting Nyanzi's wife. Oh, it's because it's Nyankole. All sorts of funny things. They are really
Ajuna's father was also a Bunyoro, and Ajuna, I think the father abandoned Ajuna as well, which is interesting. So, yeah, so Amooti, sorry, the time is going. We cannot explain everything. So I just want to tell our viewers that they should go and watch the movie Windows of Hope, because it's really an interesting movie. I personally watched it and I couldn't stop crying. First of all, Ajuna is my name, because I felt affected, but I had to do some little counseling. But it is really an amazing movie to watch. So abantu baini bakaguza hanu. People want to be to act in your next movie. My next question, because of Wile Bugenda Nibutuleka, what is your, do you have anything, any big project coming up? Because some people here were asking. But before you answer that question, I just want to tell you some questions from our viewers here. Mainly, this time I'm not going to read names because Owire Butulekere, Arohabaide na Kaguza. You promised to show us your website, but could you please tell us where people can reach you? Your website, if you're on social media, please let people know, because people here are asking about that, how they can get in touch with you.
Should I answer that now?
Yeah. Please.
So my website is nyatimotionpictures.com, and it has a lot of information. It even has information about ongoing projects. Then that website, it has my WhatsApp number, and please, the messages had better be on about movies. It has the email. Then Nyati Motion Pictures is on Facebook as Nyati Motion Pictures. I'm also on Facebook as Cindy Magara. I request, when you send me a friend's request, you first send me a message so that I know who I'm dealing with, because I get so many friends requests from people I don't know, and I'm so kind of a little bit guarded. So Bokunye Anjura, I'll be able to get to you. Then about the next project, of course, that movie, like you've seen in terms of the picture, it was done we started filming in two 2010. At the end of 2010 is when we premiered it at the National Theatre, and then I took it. I went and had a regional launch in Masindi and Hoima. I felt the Bunyoro should see their own movie, and the reception was marvelous.
Okay.
I really owe them another movie. So as of now, because I had to take a break from that time, over 10 years, doing other things, going to study, concentrating on family, filmmaking is really very intensive. So after my PhD, ngenda kora movie ya Kabalega, and it's going to be a series. So many people have been asking on Facebook. I was able to log in on Facebook. So you keep following up my Facebook pages. You'll be able to get information about the call for auditions.
Okay. As you've answered what people wanted, because people have asked so many questions, and unfortunately I won't be able to read them out. You could also follow us on TGM Radio, Voice of Bunyoro on TGM Radio, so then you can answer all our viewers and listeners' questions. I know people are complaining that we've taken time watching, showing the movie, but it was important for us to show this movie because it's the first of its kind in Bunyoro. And I know Kiki Kugonza, you're not happy. We have not wasted Amooti's time because Amooti really wanted us to show that part of the movie that we have shown. We tugenda hakumura nitugaruka kwijo tugambireho the future of films in Bunyoro film industry. What do you think about the future? Because people want to know about that. Katugarukemu just for a short break and we'll be back. See you then.
Kwatire ndongo yange, kwatire ndongo yange, satwa kuleto twaika unaira. Owengo mobya mirota, owengo mobya mirota, owengo mobya mirota, twatwa kuleto twaika unaira. Owengaro bya mirota, owengaro bya mirota, owengaro bya mirota, twatwa kuleto twaika unaira. Baisiki mchweka chweke, baisiki mchweka chweke, abaisiki mchweka chweke, twatwa kuleto twaika unaira. Kwatire kinyege kyange, kwatire kinyege kyange, kwatire kinyege kyange, twatwa kuleto twaika unaira. Sekeranga mena iwe kijumba, sekeranga mena iwe kijumba we. Mwole botanse kire kijumbe ngambo yango ijiba kweli. Chali sembera haini kijumba, mkwate hamata wadi kijumba we. Oli chana kirungi kijumba, noya kankenye nyusi kijumba we.
Do you know that we have been talking? We've been talking. Hello, thank you so much, our viewers. We are here again to show you that we have just talk more about the show. We're going to invite back Amooti abeho no tugambira what more about the movie that we have been showing. Amooti webaleyo mu kuhumura tukwenda hati otugambire about the women empowerment. When you were showing these ladies, Alinda, mother of Alinda, who is the grandmother, the stepmother, were you thinking about women empowerment?
I wanted to make like an objective representation of women. They are extremely good women. And I also wanted to show that they can be extremely bad women. And of course, a woman being a woman, as mothers of the nation, mothers of the world, we are expected to do better. We are expected to be better. And so I wanted to show the plight of women in one way or another. First and foremost, I'll begin from the point of view of children. The children I presented, because if you analyze this movie closely, it was as if I was saying to hell with the old people. If you watch the last scene, for example, Magara assures his relatives that you didn't look after me when I was growing up. You never cared for me. You didn't see me cry. You didn't see me laugh. You're not worthy of being my parents. My parents are the people who looked after me. And then, so abantu bakuru kambanza Magara side, I used the character of Alinda, who is Barugahara's mother. She was also a child. She's a child who grows up into a mother, and possibly she could have been in school. She's impregnated as a Rumwana wa kubanza yagaruka omuka, and the future ended there. And Alinda is such a brilliant girl. Possibly if she was given a second chance to go back to school, she would not be in the city meeting police selling tea in a canteen, you know. So she was denied that chance. And being a young woman at Walendendi, she's also, unfortunately, she's beautiful but unlucky, left with that pregnancy with a child, and this child now is a boy. But what is so deep from here is the conversation between Alinda and her daughter. When the daughter is grown, Atungiro Somesa, and Alinda, being a hustler she is, she's able to get a rich man later in future. After Barugahara Waise, she goes away and hustles. Possibly she went back to the city, gets another man, and she's married in a very good home. But then she can't have children because she went and had
Philippine tubes removed.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the technical word. Is it bisectomy or something like that? Yeah. She went and had her fallopian tubes cut so that she doesn't produce anymore. And because she was also a young woman, a girl per se. So Norora, the world puts a woman in such a position that in this marriage she's expected to have children, and without children she can't stay in the home. So I wanted to show that maybe sometimes when you marry somebody, it's not about them having children with you. You're marrying a partner. After all, children grow up and leave anyway. But now Alinda has to look for ways to survive in that marriage. So she has and it's a very abusive marriage. So she has a conversation with her daughter, and the daughter tells that, you know what, mom, I think I don't even want to get married. If this is what marriage is. If this is what marriage is, I don't want to get married in future. You're staying with a guy, he's abusing you. Maybe we should go and stay away from here. So the young girl is more, Alinda's daughter, Arjuna, is more empowered, she's more bold. But again, she's also pulled back by her status. She's just a primary school teacher. Meanwhile, Taina Mulimo. And you can imagine how much teachers earn. So teachers and policemen, they are also in the same category. So they have this conversation, Nanyina, Umwana Nagamba Nina, leave this marriage, mom. this guy is abusing you. You stay here begging for anything. And then the mother tells her, do you know what, my daughter, you cannot sustain me and yourself with your salary as a teacher. First and foremost, you are a girl. You even have no home.
Yes.
When I die, that means Alinda's claim, Ajuna's claim to Alinda's mother's home is when her mother is there. It implies in Kakuba, Nina Bataro, this girl again will not have anything at her home, which is the only home she knows. That is her maternal home. So really, it's a web of things. It's an intricate, an interconnected web of issues that I wanted to expose and to make people think about. I almost felt bad when you said you watched the movie and cried. I really didn't want to make people cry. But if you cry,
I'm emotional, and because my name was in it, and I felt.
Yes, I know. But even if your name was not in it, so many people cry, including men, whom people don't easily cry. But it means then the message sinks home. By the time you shed a tear, then you're going to think about it. Hell no! Is this the way we should be doing things? Exactly. Is this the way we should be treating our children? Is this the way we should be treating our women?
So on that note, because you've talked about you, and especially that you have put out a show, a film in Bunyoro, what do you see the future of film industry in Bunyoro as a region? Because this is the first of its kind. We tried to a film in Uganda or maybe Nigeria, but now we have one in our own. At least we have seen one, The Windows of Hope. I can proudly say we have a movie in Bunyoro. So where do you see this industry in our area, in Bunyoro in particular?
Of course, the film industry in Bunyoro is just beginning. Bunyoro is like part of Uganda. My PhD is or has been, because it's already submitted, about film in East Africa, really. So I was looking broadly. I even had to move away from Uganda because at my master's I did film in Uganda. We are the underdogs of all the industries in terms of regions, in terms of West, South, and North Africa. So East Africa is the underdog, and Uganda is not really the underdog in East Africa. So I want to use this bigger picture for you to locate where Bunyoro is. Yes. So in Uganda, the film industry is dominated by, again, multicultural people, but mostly it is in Uganda, where you can say there is a seemingly growing film industry with at least maybe 2, 3, or 4 film releases per year. I happen to have chanced to be a juror, chief judge, to be exact, for a big film festival in Uganda for about 4 years before I moved to Sydney. So I was watching all the movies coming out of Uganda, and Bunyoro, I think there's one small company that is starting up in Hoima. Yes. In Western Uganda, there was Kigezi Drama Actors, Abakiga, nibo bakora movies. I think in Fort Portal, has there been one movie? I think I also watched one movie in Toro, our cousins. So I think we really need to think about it. And that aside, that the movies are not being made per se, there is also lack of the theater, the cinemas. You should ask me when you're launching Windows of Hope in Masindi. I showed it in Kolping Hotel Gardens. Yes. So to Kabam Gardens, I had to mount 3 screens in open space. We can always make do, and the people really want to watch their movies.
They want in Hoima. They want a Nyoro. Yeah.
And not necessarily that they want Kinyoro. They want their own stories. They want stories they can identify with. If it is in Bunyoro, it is a bonus. Yes. Because they're like, it's like seeing themselves on screen, and they relate to the story much more. And from then onwards, I've actually decided that if possible, I want to use language according to context. Yes. Not to have a maid who didn't go to school coming to work, for example, in an affluent home, maid itamanyire even how to set a table, and she's speaking perfect English. Yes. So this maid should speak her language. Wow. And that's the only way we can promote our languages. Yes. So in Bunyoro, we need a lot of work to do. First and foremost, we need to invest in the industry. We need to put up theaters. We need to create a culture. So we need more people to make movies, as many people as there can be. I'm glad at least the music industry is kind of somehow picking up and people are making music videos. Of course, abandi ntaho batandikira nibakora music videos nibaruga nibagamba we can record actually story nibagiteka. For me, as much as I'm a film critic and a film academic, I don't really care about what quality they produce. All I care is them telling their own story and decolonizing the screen. Amazing. Of foreign stories, because when we watch a lot of foreign stories, we are acculturated to ending up into adapting to the culture of the movies we are watching, yes, instead of our own culture. So we want as many people as we can making movies. Even you can make movies. Yes. I'll write for you to make. Yeah.
I will be glad to be one of your, to participate in one of your movies. I don't know, I will have to choose my name, I think again, Arjuna. Is there any, that brings me to my next, is there any future project our viewers should look for in the nearby future?
Nearby future ekintu leka mbaza olunyoro lunoro waite ekikwasiro mu babiro ekikwasiro mu babiro
sobeira abanyoro n'abanyoro kati bagambire bazo lunyoro, they will always ask us to speak in lunyoro baitu kiro kinu batuganyira yes bazo lunyoro the next
but kambare me mixing because also
benda tubazo
Ninamu abantu like my students who will not understand Runyoro. Okay, but it's okay. Hati ekinte kikwasiro mu babiro niyo movie ya Kabalega.
Wow.
I had this idea, like I've had it for the last 6 years, but I'm pushing aside because I knew once I make a Kabalega movie, I want to make something that is very international, that will move borders. All my movies have moved borders. Windows of Hope actually won me an award. It is an award-winning film. Yes. And all my movies I've shown on DSTV, so they are watched all over Africa. Wow. On Africa Magic channels. So I wanted the Kabalega movie to really like show in cinemas all over the world. So nyagamba kinu kamaze mali PhD yange ndole nkokunda akitandika. So the more we've done research with my writing team, most of them are even my former students, we realized I think we can make a series are on Vogue. Yes. We can make a series of Kabalega. There is a lot about Kabalega. For example, only his childhood, mtanimpulirizo mutalindwa akiki na presentinga hanu about the story of Kabalega. Just his childhood can make a movie.
Wow.
The conquest battle, the succession battle can make a movie. Then his wars can make a movie. His policies. You just could concentrate on his military policies, his expansion policies. So we decided we are going to make a series, and I'm very determined about that. And so that is the next big thing. We
can't wait even us. I cannot wait. I'll probably be in that movie if you give me an opportunity. I don't know.
The thing is, I will call for auditions.
Yes.
And you will audition. If you get a role, then you get it. It's not a matter of Cindy Mumanyire Tukasoma, because this is professionalism. Okay. Even when I went to Prima, we called for auditions. People auditioned, and if you qualified for a role, you acted it. So I think you could be one of the Bagos, one of Kabalega's.
That is amazing. So Abanyoro na Abanyoro Kate and our viewers, as you're listening, we are having Amooti Atugambire. Her next project is going to be a film on Kabalega, and she will be letting us know when she will be doing the auditions. Everyone interested, you'll have to keep in touch with her on her website. Everything that she wants to do is on her website. Please do visit it. Atenye hana rwabantu akubaini bakaguza when we need Atenyi Atugonza Kaguza, if we need episodes of Barugahara, how can we get a copy or the film of Barugahara? Do you?
Barugahara, the full film is uploaded on YouTube.
Okay.
In Uganda, I used to sell it.
Yes.
It was being sold at the National Theatre because, with our film industry, in Hoima, I was selling it at Lucky 7 supermarket. We don't have very organized structures in terms of distribution, even cinemas. So Uganda, when you make a movie, you can only show it at the National Theatre or Cineplex. But in the last few years, a few cinemas have sprung up. But zona ziri mu Kampala, Sabanyoro twinakola cinema Uganda, Bunyoro. Tunakola cinema in the major cities of Bunyoro, at least Hoima, Masindi, even everywhere. It doesn't have to be like a very big cinema, but we need cinemas to introduce the culture. Then the people are willing to watch their own movies. Amazing, yeah. But they are not structured and with a lot of copyright, the copyright law not being tibagiteka mu nkora, tibagi respectinga. So movie, I sold it then and got what I got. So for now, they can have it for free. So I'm giving them a free movie ticket.
So Amooti akuba hanywe n'abakwenda krora a movie ya Hope, Windows of Hope. It is free on YouTube, and we are just going to be going off air. I just want to ask one question, the closing remarks. Do you have anything, you as a film producer, a lecturer, a mother, a wife, everything that you are, what do you want to tell the Bunyoro that are watching you, the friends of Bunyoro? Itwe nabali have view naba students bawe. Just a word from you, 2 or 3, and we go.
I think, that's a hard question, but emienda ya Bunyoro, my beloved people, I think we need to keep hope alive, keep hoping for better things in future and work hard as always. And mukama abahomugisa, much love from me and Nyati Motion Pictures.
Amazing. Ezo nizo closing remarks za Amooti abagambire we need to work hard, and because Barugahara worked hard and ended up becoming getting a degree and getting a very big empire of business. I just want to tell you guys, go watch Hope's Windows of Hope. It is amazing. You love the ending of that movie. Tugenda off air. As usual, this is Eirakali ya Bunyoro, but before we are going off air, I'm going to tell you we'll be ending by showing a little bit more of the trailer of the Hopes of Windows of Hope. Niyenda kusima muna Amooti webale kwikiriza kwija kuba hamu naitwe hanu gonzo baire obwire buli kyali owanyu okukyalo imukire watekawo alamu wakoraki tusemerere muno. Thank you for honoring Voice of Bunyoro, and I'm sure you'll be coming back to talk more about your movies. Probably next time we'll talk about what is the next one you think we should discuss.
A fair play. Fair play would be good.
So we will come back Amooti ikiriza genda garuka abaze about fair play kandi ni msimamo no. Thank you, and we are looking forward to hosting you again here on Voice of Bunyoro in the Diaspora TGM Radio, and which is sponsored by Bunyoro Kitara Development Association. Aba viewers baitu na listeners baitu mwebale muno kutuninga in. Please continue following us on TGM Live on all our apps, and we are going off air. Mwevale, come back next week, same time, 7 sharp, for another topic about the Bunyoro. We love the great nation. Mutyo muno emienda ya Bunyoro na abanywani be emienda ya Bunyoro murare kurungi, and I wish you a lovely week ahead of us. Mukama alinde. Bye.
Nete zonna ya muzukuru wange Barugahara tabula bogere. Sibikiriza. Nzabulezo mukuru wanu lwaki munsosola. Kankana goli mwana. Kankana. Shut up.
Bigger inheritance. I had to work and work hard, keeping hope alive.
Expression for expenditure approach. Barugahara. Riwaru Sophia.
Oh my God!
And Bargahara Bogere Tabla.
Baruga! Mommy! Baruga, come!
This is my story, the story of Barugara Bogere Tabula. United Motion Pictures and the National Theatre present the cinematography film Windows of Hope story.
Mwebale muno kuhuliriza eiraka lya Bunyoro kuruga mu Diaspora on TGM Radio. Until next time, mwikale kurungi.